Yo, traders, how are we? Welcome to Simply Forex. Welcome to the live stream. Trader Tom here, and I am with you for the next 45 minutes. In those 45 minutes, we are going to do the following. We're going to look at a couple of trades that I've had so far this week. Both successful, and one I had to have a couple of bites at the cherry, but we got there. Secondly, guys, we are going to look at the news reaction today because we have got important US and Canadian dollar data coming out. So at 1:30, you can see we have retail sales coming out of the US and we've got inflation coming out of Canada. So big, important news for these currency pairs. It's important because I'm also interested in Canadian dollar pairs, and we are also going to do that. I'm going to show you trades that I am interested in right now. And like I say, I'm interested in a couple of Canadian dollar pairs. What else are we going to do? The most important thing, we are going to take as many of your questions as humanly possible. So don't be shy, guys. Please come leave a question. If there's anything you want to know about trading, if there's something you want a little bit of insight into, then please leave a question, right? This is why you're here. So yeah, don't be shy. Just come say hello as well. Also, there's usually some things I want to share because I haven't seen you guys since Thursday. So firstly, I've had a haircut. Nobody's commented on that, unfortunately. No one said, oh, nice haircut, Tom. Secondly, Liverpool are top of the league. We beat Burnley 1-0. We was a little bit lucky, but we won nonetheless. What else was there? R.I.P. Ricky Hatton. That's sad news. So a UK boxer out of Manchester. He was a world champion, Ricky Hatton. He passed. So that was bad news. And then on a more positive note, ever since I've come back from the Philippines, because I was there for 5 weeks and I was eating and just drinking and generally being a fat slob, I have done a complete detox. I've drank no alcohol for a couple of weeks. I've been hitting the gym hard. So I feel fantastic at the moment. Slightly bored, but fantastic. So there you go, guys. That is everything I wanted to share with you. Have any of you on a detox or anything like that? Anything you want to tell me that you're doing? Please leave a comment. Right, guys, let's start with a couple of trades that I've taken this week. And let's start with New Zealand dollar, US dollar buy trades. You can see this was my trade, right? And it was successful. If we drop down to the day chart, why was it successful? Because it ticked a lot of price action boxes, right? When I joke with friends down the pub or whatever, they're like, Tom, what do you actually do? And I'm basically say, I tick boxes, right? It's my little joke answer. It's not that funny, to be honest, but that's what I do. If something ticks enough boxes, I take the trade. Right? And New Zealand dollar, US dollar, as you can see, right? We were in an uptrend. We're getting higher lows, higher highs, right? We were in an uptrend. So tick, we were getting bullish candles. A little bit of indecision, but that was Friday, right? Not that I don't pay attention to Friday's candle, but Friday's candle can be a lot like there's just some selling off, people closing trades before the weekend, right? So buyers were still in control for me. And then if we drop down to the H4, right, you can see, right, very, very simply, right, if we look at our price action indicator, right, you can see daily was bullish, as I just explained. H4 was in an uptrend, right? You can also see that from the green river, which is part of the indicator. And then I basically got in on this candle. We had a nice big bullish candle. It actually broke a H1 level in here as well, right? Got a slight retrace. I started buying here, took price up to there, stop loss here, successful trade, right? Very Price action, very logical, very methodical. Okay. And my Canadian dollar yen buy trade, not easy to say, quite a mouthful, was the same, right? Again, if we go to the daily chart, right, this Canadian dollar yen pair is in an uptrend, right? Because we were here, I would even say that was a high, right? We were basically here and then bang, right? Uptrend. We've broken this high. You know, even if there is a little bit of ambiguity as to is that the last high, then okay, you've definitely broken that high anyway, right? Price retraced to these last lows. We never broke the lows, so we're still in an uptrend. And then at that point, we were getting bullish candles come off of this support level, right? If we drop down to the H4, you know, as I just explained with New Zealand dollar, US dollar, right? It's very, I don't like using the word simple because trading isn't simple. Anyone that's been doing it any length of time will say, Tom, if you say trading is simple, I will pull your toenails out. And I agree, you should pull my toenails out because it's not, right? Trade is not simple, but the problem is you can overcomplicate it. You don't need to, right? Again, daily, bullish, I just showed you why. H4 in an uptrend, right? We break these highs in here, we're getting higher highs, right? The river turns green, right? It tells you we're in an uptrend. And then we got a nice big bullish candle, right? It was actually a H1 candle I entered on. Let me show you, right? I actually entered on this H1 candle right here because it broke this resistance. That was another piece of confluence on the H1, right? And then I couldn't have got a better entry really, guys. Price retraced and I just started entering in here, right? Stopped below here and there was my target. And as you can see, price came up. So yeah, Canadian dollar yen, nice trade as well. Happy days. I will also show you trades that I'm looking at right now. Before I do, let me just show you that I put all of these trades in the VIP Discord, right? So this is part of our Discord, guys, what you're looking at right now. We've also got the VIP Discord, but you can see my two trades in here from yesterday. So yeah, get involved. Come join the free Discord. If you want, you can come join the VIP as well. But check it out, guys. You can see above my head, join our free Discord. It's a great trading community. Please come and do it. Now, let's stay on Canadian dollar. Let's have a quick sip of coffee in my Liverpool mug. Right, this is for you, Adrian, and any other non-Liverpool fan. Because I like Canadian pairs at the moment, right? Canadian dollar yen is still a good trade setup. If you look at the daily, we had a really nice bullish candle as well, right? If we looked at the H4, it's flying, right? You can see my alarm in here. I'm potentially going to look for a pull retrace into here, stopped below here, and then take it back up to these highs. Get my 1:1, take some profit, probably let some profit run. We'll see how price reacts up here. So CAD yen is a trade that I'm keeping an eye on. You know, shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? And there's no hindsight in trading. I was looking at entering on this candle, right? That was a nice wick rejection. You know, I didn't, right? And if I did, I would have put my trade in the VIP. But yeah, I'm still looking at this trade. We can still get a nice retrace and then come higher. I'm also looking at EuroCAD, right? If we look at the H4, let's start on the H4 because you can see we was in this H4 uptrend and then bang, we've broken these lows, right? We have had a H4 structure break. And if we just look to the left, guys, right, it has been, right, since here, we've been in an uptrend. So we haven't had a structure break for some time, right? So it's a big deal. When we get a structure break on the H4, it is a big deal, right? They don't happen that frequently. When did we get a break? So that happened on the 1st of September. It's now the 25th. Right? So almost a month we've been with H4 trend. But look at this. You know, we're seeing a nice big bearish candle here. Yeah, we like this trade. I might wait for a little pullback up this candle a little bit, start selling in here, stops above here, and look to take it back down to these lows. So Euro CAD is what I'm looking at as well. Yeah, there's a couple of other things I'm looking at, guys, but let's take a look at those later on. Let's first see how you wonderful people are. Thank you for joining us today. Let's see who we've got in the house. Right, let's say hello to a few people. Luigi, how are you? Hey, Tom, the best trader on planet Earth. How are you doing? Luigi, I will pay you later for that comment. Thank you. Aya, how are you? Haven't seen you for a while. Aya, how are you? Thindile, I'm probably pronouncing that terribly. How are you? Okay, price action 101. I'm on a detox. I'm only drinking fine rum and not the cheap crap. I'm not sure if that counts as a detox, but hey, it's a fun detox. Daniel, hello. Price action 1 thoughts on euro pound. Okay, so we can take a look at that. Lily, where the hell have you been? Hi, Lily, how are you? HPX Capital, big week of major news. Yeah, it always is, right? There's always some big news coming out, right? And Nigel Gordon, aka Flash Gordon, they call him in his neighborhood. What do you think of pound Canadian dollar? So let's start there. Jane, hello, Jane. You, Jane, me, Tarzan. Right, let's start with Flash Gordon. Nigel, I hope you don't mind me calling you that. It's not because Nigel flashes, it's just because he's very quick. I do not know where I go with these comments sometimes. Morning, Phil. So pound CAD, I also like for selling, right? And let's understand why, right? If we look at the weekly chart, we are at a weekly resistance level. Right? At a weekly resistance level, guaranteed, you heard it here first, guaranteed you will get sellers at that level. 100%. Now, the thing is, right, let me explain what I'm saying. You know, will sellers take price to here? Right? Will sellers take price to here? That's what we don't know. We don't know how strong these sellers are going to come in, but there will be sellers at that level, right? And there will be clues. Now, let's look at the daily. There you go. There is a very big clue, a big bearish daily candle. Now, obviously, I know we are in basically that, right? We're in a daily uptrend, getting higher lows, higher highs, right? We're in an uptrend. But we've hit a weekly resistance level. We've had a nice big bearish candle react at that level. That is a big bearish engulfing candlestick pattern, but nobody gives a shit about the name of candlestick patterns. You know, those cheat sheets like, oh, this is a engulfing, this is a hammer, this is a star, this is it. It doesn't matter, guys. Don't worry yourself if you don't know the names of all the patterns, right? What you do need to know is who is in control. Simple as that. And if I said to you, guys, looking at that candle, right, doesn't matter if you know the name or not, it is irrelevant. But if you looked at that candle and I said, who is in control, you should all say sellers. And if you don't, there will be punishment, right? There won't be punishment, but you know what I mean? It's obvious sellers are in control. Now, what we want is more confluence, okay? Now, if we look at the H4, there's this level here, right? It hasn't quite broke. Yeah, Euro CAD had broken down, right? If I show you Euro CAD, clearly a lower low, right? If I show you pound CAD, not a lower low, right? This last low here held, but right, we're liking Canadian dollar strength, and look at this candle, right? We've got what we got another 45 minutes before this candle finishes forming. But if it finishes like this, right, it's looking like a potentially a nice sell trade, right? In in a perfect world, I would like to see price break that low. Then we get a retrace. Then we start selling, right? But even if you liked this candle, right? Let's say the H4 candle finishes like this, right? And you're like, Tom, I really like the daily candle. I really like the H4 candle. I want to sell it. Now, I would agree with you wholeheartedly, right? Yes, I want to sell it. But you've got to ask yourself, is there the room? We know this is support. Do you want to start selling here, stops above here, right? Your risk to reward is already a bit screwed, right? There's your reward and there's your risk, right? Because as price stands at the moment, you can't really take price, really any further than that. That the market is showing you that should be your target, right? Now, let's say the candle finishes like this and price retraces up this candle and you start selling their stop losses above here, then okay, you've potentially got a trade back down to these lows. So always bear that risk to reward in mind, right? And really your target should always be, if you're selling, the next piece of support, right? Because support by the very definition is a buying level. So you will get buyers there, right? You will get buyers at that level. So that has to be your target, right? And in conversely, is that the right word? If you're in an uptrend, right, and you're buying, right, then the next piece of resistance needs to be your target, right? So if there's one thing you take away from today, guys, apart from Tom, what a wonderful haircut you've had today, then then that should be it, right? But ultimately, pound Canadian dollar sells, yeah. But I think that has to be your target. So I hope that helps. Right, Lily. I always like Lily's questions, although I haven't read her question yet. Lily, I often get good entries but struggle with exits. Sometimes I hold too long, hoping for more profit, and other times I close too late and end up very negative. How do you decide the right time to exit? So, Lily, this is a very good question, and I expect nothing else from you. So, exactly what you've written down should be written in your strategy. Right? There should be no gray area in your strategy, right? There really shouldn't. So, if, so everything should be in there. So your entries, where you enter, why you enter, what's the catalyst, okay? And it's the same for exits. Where do you exit? Why do you exit? What is the catalyst? Now, there can be more than one catalyst, right? I exit trades if I see a structure break, so I get out of trades early, or sometimes if I see a big bearish or bullish candle going against my trade, right? So that's more trade management, but it is part of my exit strategy. So it all needs to be written down, okay? Now, generally speaking, holding on to trades was something I struggled with, right? We're seeing a lot of CAD strength here. So holding on to trades was something I struggled with. So, what I do a lot of the time, for example, right? Let's just say I entered on this candle, right? Stop below here, and this is my target, and I know this is the next daily level. So what I used to do, or what I still do, is take some profit, right? we get to this level, I close 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%. So take some profit would be my advice, and then let some profit run, because it's so much easier psychologically to let some profit run if you've already taken some. You cannot lose at that point, right? If you take more than 50% of the trade at 1:1. So that is very nice psychologically in letting a trade run. Now, your exit needs to be very clear. My exit, generally speaking, is the last H4 high. So if I entered in here, right, as I explained earlier, the next piece of resistance in an uptrend, which is what this is, will be my first TP, right? So it's all written down, okay? I will exit. If, let's say my stop loss is down here, right? If I get a structure break and we break these lows in here, I will also exit early, okay? So yeah, there's many ways and there's many ways of exiting a trade, right? Now, you have to decide what works for you and suits your personality. And again, guys, there's numerous tutorials in the VIP Trading Academy on this. So if you haven't already, come join it and just check out all the tutorials. So everything you're talking about is a good question, Lily, but it all needs to be written down, and there is no gray area. You should never find yourself in a predicament with trading where you don't know what to do. You're like, right, that XYZ happened, I exit. XYZ happened, I carry on with the trade, right? It needs to be all written down. On that note, guys, if I could please ask everyone to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash the like button. If you haven't already, if you look above my head, if you check out the website, first of all, www.simply-forex.com, on there, you will get all of the premium trading education. We've got the course, we've got the mentorship program, we've got the VIP Trading Academy, which I showed you earlier, and we've got the Price Action Pro indicator, which is badass. Also, guys, please come join our Discord channel. We've got a beautiful little trading community, so come join it. You can talk to like-minded traders, share knowledge, ideas. So come join it. All you have to do is click a link and accept the invite. It's that easy. And finally, guys, today's live stream is brought to you by Pepperstone, a world-class broker. And if you switch brokers with them today using our link, we will give you free VIP Trading Academy, and we will give you a free Essential Trading View subscription. No one else is going to do that for you, so why not switch your broker today? Go check that promo out. And all the links and everything you need, guys, are all in the video description. So yeah, check it all out. Right, what else are we looking at? HPX Capital, Euro Pound has been a mess past 7 days. Yeah, it has a little bit. I would agree with that analysis, right? Yeah, it's all about this level for me, Euro Pound. But yeah, look, the last 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, the last 5 days, price hasn't moved more than 25, 26 pips. So yeah, bit of a mess, Euro Pound, I would agree. Now, if we get a big bearish reaction at this level, I think we've got room to the downside. If we break this level, I think we've got room to the upside. This has become a key level. So yeah, let's see what happens at that level. But yeah, a bit of a mess, Euro Pound. There's a lot geopolitically going on with the UK and the Euro. I mean, there always is, right? I don't think like that, but that's what's creating the mess. Right, what else are we looking at? News in 5 minutes. Okay, we will take a look at that. Sursu Brosa wants us to look at Euro Aussie dollar. Yeah, I'm interested in buying this, right? Because we've just had a fresh H4 structure break. And yes, I am showing off because I know that before I even look at the chart, right? So we have had a fresh structure break here, right? This is a really nice level, even if I drag it left. So that is a really, really wonderful H4 level. Now, we have had a H4 structure break. There is no two ways about it, but we are firmly in a Euro Aussie dollar downtrend. We know we've had all of that selling, we've had all of that strong Aussie dollar, basically. This is where we're at. So we're getting lower highs, lower lows. We're firmly in a Euro Aussie dollar sell trade, but, you know, I still don't want to start selling here. I know this is a level here, but there's still no value for me. I want to see a much deeper retrace before I start selling. I would like the smart river to catch up with price at the very least before I start selling. So I'm not interested in selling Euro Aussie dollar. And with what I've just explained, it makes sense that I would potentially be interested in buying Euro Aussie dollar, right? I know this is going against daily trend, but it's so oversold down here, and there's lots of free air to move into, right? Once we, or if we break through this support resistance level, really we're not hitting any resistance until up here in this 1.78 thousand level. So there's lots of free air in there. When I say free air, I mean nothing stopping price, right? So bearing that in mind, if we look at the H4, let's buy it, right? Like I say, we've got all this free air. You know, like I say, this 1.78 thousand psychological level, and you can clearly see we've had a structure break, right? Look how our smart river turns to green, right? It tells you we're in a H4 uptrend. Now, obviously, what was once resistance, once, twice, when we break, I'm very much interested in buying at the same level. You can see my alarm in here. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to enter. It just means I'm interested in that level, and I will analyze the charts in terms of price action once we get to this level, right? I might not like the daily at that point. But Euro Aussie dollar, I'm not interested in buying it now. But if we get a retrace into here and we start seeing nice bullish candles, I think potentially we've got a nice buy trade against daily trend. So it's an interesting one, guys. Yeah, there is a bit of contradiction in terms of trend, but yeah, again, I don't have to trade Euro Aussie dollar. I tend to look for pairs that H4 and daily are working together, right? They're in line with each other. But occasionally, if I see a trade like this, I may take that trade. We shall see. But if I do, I will put all of my trades in the VIP Trading Academy in the Discord. So, Sir Subrosa, were you thinking buys or were you thinking sells? Right, we've got news in 1 minute, right? So we have got US dollar data coming out and Canadian dollar data. So let's play guess the news game. Let's bring up Euro US dollar. Has anyone got a good joke? We've got 45 seconds. Let me have a drink in that time. And also, guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Also, smash the notification button so you know when we are live every day, except Mondays and Fridays. Anyone got a good joke while we wait for the news? Nigel, we will take it, or Flash, sorry. We will take a look at Euro New Zealand dollar. Okay, so all right, we'll take a look at that. A couple of people interested. Let's take a look at the news first of all, though. 3, 2, 1. I feel like Elon Musk. Okay, US dollar strength, lots of it so far. Oh, you know, never jumping on a trade right now, guys, but initially we're seeing some US dollar strength. Always let this hourly candle finish, right? Because at one point it looks like this, and then half an hour later it looks like this. Yeah. So always, okay, US dollar yen. I'm not interested in US dollar yen. So initially US dollar strength. Let's have a look at other pairs. Pound US dollar. Reasonably muted, right? Let's have a look at New Zealand dollar, US dollar. US dollar strength. Let's have a look at US dollar yen. US dollar strength. So Sherlock Holmes is going to say that the US news was better than expected. There you go. All of it, guys. Look at that. So that is pretty impressive figures. It really is. And they're all big beats on expectation. That is healthy spending by consumers, right? So that's a very positive sign for the economy. Yeah, so really good figures for the US. It's worth pointing out we've had some bad figures for Canada. So let's take a quick look at a Canadian dollar pair, because we was looking at them earlier. Remember, we liked Euro CAD. Yeah, look at that. So we're seeing a bit of Canadian dollar weakness at the moment. So, this could put us off of those trades. Let's have a look at CAD yen. Yeah, we're seeing some Canadian dollar weakness coming to the market. So US dollar CAD, by that definition, should be flying upwards. Okay, not exactly flying upwards, but going upwards. So yeah, a bit of Canadian dollar weakness, a bit of US dollar strength. Let's have a look at how that affected the indices. Quite muted, really. Let's have a look at the S&P. Yeah, really quite muted. Let's have a look at the Dow Jones. Little bit of strength, not much. Yeah, so not much to write home about there, guys, but a little bit of US dollar strength. Rahil, we have already done Euro Canadian dollar, so please check out the start of this video. We take a look at that. Right, we've got a few people interested in, okay, we've got pound New Zealand dollar, and we've got Euro New Zealand dollar. Right, let's have a look at the New Zealand dollar pairs. And let's do a top-down approach. Right. Now, let's all do this. Let me just drag this across. Right, let's all do this together. So we are going to analyze the charts doing a top-down approach together as one big trading community where the flowers grow, right? And I'm going to ask you very simple questions. So on the weekly chart, please leave your comment in the live chat. So on the weekly chart, would you buy, sell, or stay out of this market? So everyone right now, okay, would you buy, sell, or stay out of Euro New Zealand dollar on the weekly chart? So everyone, please get involved. Leave your answer. I'm going to keep drinking my coffee. Got really nice coffee. Right, we've got price action would buy, Daniel would buy, Lily would buy, Cephas would buy, Sir Subrosa would buy. All right, we've got a lot of buyers in town. Anyone else? Okay, so you are market sentiment and you said you would buy the market. So let's take a look at the facts on the weekly chart. So we are clearly in, I'm going to even say that was a level, right? We are in a weekly uptrend, which suggests I want to buy, but we need to look at more factors, right? We are coming off a key weekly level, and just look at the candles since we've hit that level. Look how they've changed. Very bullish, now bearish, bearish, bearish. So candles have changed to bearish. We are at a nice support level, right? I cannot disagree with that. And this looks like a good area for buys. We are getting value at this area as well. Okay. Now, if you bear that in mind, so one, structure and trend is a tick for buys, right? Candlesticks is not a tick for buys. Support and resistance is a tick for buys. And value, which is very important, is a tick for buys. So we've got 3 out of 4 for buys, but I still don't want to buy into that candle. So I can totally understand why the majority of you were looking to buy it, right? But this weekly candle is still just keeping me out of it. And the fact that we are bouncing off of weekly resistance, okay? So it's very close to a buy, but I would stay out of this trade, right? But again, yeah, you know, all I'm doing is looking at the facts of the chart and interpreting the data and making a trading decision. Interpreting is not easy to say when you've been necking coffee with whiskey in it. Right, daily chart. Now, same question, guys, right? Euro, New Zealand dollar, daily chart. Would you buy, sell, or stay out of this market? So everyone right now, again, let's carry on this analysis. Leave your comment in the live chat. I'm going to have a drink of neat vodka this time. I was looking at the screen and just spilt most of it down my chest. Not a good look. Right. Okay. So you can see how the sentiment has changed, right? Looking at the weekly, you were all buyers, right? But now look, we've got sellers, we've got stay out, we've still got buyers, and we've got a stay out. So it just goes to show, guys, how important it is to look at multiple timeframes, right? Because, you know, for example, if you just looked at the weekly and started buying, you would be blissfully unaware that you are buying into a daily resistance level, right? And Faraz, yeah, you're probably right. So on the day chart, right, you can clearly see we was in this uptrend and then bang, we're in a downtrend, right? We're getting lower highs, lower lows, and we are at a very nice resistance level, okay? Now, it's going to be very interesting to see how this candle finishes at that level, right? If we get a nice big bearish wick, something like this, then potentially we got a sell trade, right? But again, okay, let's just focus on daily first of all. So right now, it's just at a very interesting level. That's all, right? We don't have a nice bearish candle. We have no reaction at this level. So I definitely don't want to buy this, but if anything, I want to sell it, but I need to see what happens here. So for that reason, it's stay out, yeah? And now if you start piecing it all together, right? This is how I roll. You just slowly piece it all together. So you've got weekly, which you guys wanted to buy, right? I wanted to stay out. And then you've got daily, where the majority of you were stay out or sell, right? So just looking at the data, right? You've got buy, stay out, sell. So if you like any business decision, you collect the data and your data tells you this, it's telling you to stay out, right? There's no conclusive answer. Yeah, it's like too much contradiction. I wouldn't go into this business deal. I'd be like, no, I'm not comfortable with it, right? And then I would run out of the boardroom and go to the pub. I'm joking. What a detox. So there you go, guys. That's what you need to do. Yeah, you need to piece it all together and find enough reasons to buy or sell. And here we have too much conflict for that. Out of curiosity, let's see what's happening at that level, right? On the H4. Now, on the H4, why is my computer so slow? I have the baddest, like not the bad, as in I have the best internet imaginable. So why is this taking so long? Oh, there we go. We're okay. Oh, I'll tell you what the problem is. Let me just change this. Right, so you can now see that on the H4. So you clearly see this is a nice level, right? Resistance, support, right? And now is it going to become resistance? So let's see. And even if we do get a bearish resistance here, right, you can see we're in a H4 uptrend. So I'd want to start seeing something like this anyway, right? And we get a break of structure. And then I think we can seriously start looking at Euro New Zealand dollar sells. But I definitely don't want to buy into that level. So yeah, I hope that helps. Who asked that question? Sir Subrosa, I hope that helps. Okay, let's have a quick look at those Canadian dollar pairs that I was interested in after that news. I will still be interested in these pairs. If the H4 stays like this, I'm still interested in Euro Canadian dollar sells, right? For shizzle. Pound Canadian dollar less so, because we haven't broken these lows. And then let's have a look at Canadian dollar yen. Yeah, this is still looking bullish. This is like regret of the day. I don't think like that, guys. I don't have FOMO, but that candle was a nice candle to enter on. What else was I looking at? Yeah, I still like some US dollar weakness, but what's US dollar Canadian dollar doing? I was also looking at this, guys, but this is just too far gone. Yeah, so I want to sell US dollar Canadian dollar at the start of the day, but I don't want to start selling down here. I want to start, the smart river part of the indicator comes round. I want to start selling there, really. So yeah, also like New Zealand US dollar buys, but we're really finding some resistance here. I would need to see a break of these highs, really. So not much setting up, guys, other than those Canadian dollar pairs, and we'll keep a close eye on those. Guys, yeah, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button and smash the like button. Please come join me for the live stream again tomorrow and get all your questions ready, right? If there's anything you want to know about trading, not just, a currency pair. Maybe you want to know about support and resistance. Maybe you want to know about reading candles. Maybe you want to know about trade management. Maybe you want to know about handling correlations. Maybe you want to know about, how to cook spaghetti bolognese. I don't know, but whatever it is, get your questions ready for tomorrow. All right, guys, have a great trading day, and I will see you